Coming up this week on Oklahoma Horizon. Oklahoma is one of only 9 states in the country that are home to more livestock than people. And along with that comes a greater potential for animal-related crime. This week, we go behind the scenes with the people and the gadgets that are working to keep Oklahoma safe.
The Investigative Services Unit of the Department of Agriculture, we're charged by statute with investigating all agriculture-related crimes.
Our Courtney Dehoff shows us how wireless technology is helping to keep better track of Oklahoma animals. And Dustin Milkey introduces us to a farmer with a leafy green passion for life.
Fresh spinach is very palatable, sweet, and it's got a great taste to it. That's one good thing about cutting spinach, you can eat it as you cut it.
Plus, Clay Kimbrough takes us to a famous Oklahoma canyon with an infamous history. Stay with us for Oklahoma Horizon.
Horizon is made possible by the Oklahoma Department of Career and Technology Education.
Oklahoma's investment in Career Tech provides more than nationally recognized technology education and training. It produces solid financial returns for the state's economic future. Oklahoma Career Tech, elevating our economy.
And the Oklahoma Department of Agriculture, Food, and Forestry, helping good people grow good things. And now, from the Career Tech Studios in Stillwater, here's your host, Rob McClendon.
Well, raising cattle has long been a staple of life in America's heartland. It's a pastime that's big business for America's ranchers, but it's also becoming an even bigger target for crime. Over the past few years, we've seen a steady increase in cattle thefts across the state, with some industry experts estimating the losses in the millions of dollars. Often known as cattle rustling, stealing cattle is a crime as old as the American West, yet today thieves are taking full advantage of modern-day tools to ply their age-old trade.
Come on!
It's time to count cattle on Ted Allen's ranch just south of Tulsa.
Oh, Bill, get over here.
Allen and his nephew have been keeping closer tabs on their livestock after losing about a dozen head to thieves.
I know every cow just like you know your child. And I know it's mine, but I can't prove it if it's somebody else's truck at the stockyard.
Old-fashioned cattle rustling, just using some simple modern-day tools.
They were smart. They come in and took them 3 or 4 at a time. You see how we coached them in with a sack of feed? They just go right there at the edge of that road, coach them up in a little old trap, and all they have to do is them first 2 or 3 that come in, they run right in. We shut the gate. They can load them and be gone in 3 or 4 minutes. And what's aggravating is they're using our corrals that we built to help us load them. The corrals makes it easy.
Well, pushing 80, Allen says he's never seen cattle rustling this bad before. And while many may blame the theft on a downturning economy, well, Allen's got some other ideas.
I think it's hoodlums trying to make an easy dollar.
According to Oklahoma's Department of Agriculture, the rate of cattle theft has now grown by over 500% in just the past year, with losses statewide now averaging close to 150 head a month.
You lose the price of the cow, but it took you 5 years to get her born, get her raised, get her bred, and get a new calf. You're from your 5-year-olds before you got invested in her. And now she's just now starting to be the factory. These people are out of work. They're out of work because their factory closed. But if you steal our cows, you steal our factory. Because what you lose is not the price of the cow, it's what she's going to produce the next 5-10 years.
And while folks like Allen may be losing their livelihood, for thieves, it's just a quick and easy buck. Now, any one of these cattle behind me will bring around $1,000 at auction. And the unfortunate fact is 9 times out of 10, the thieves are paid full price.
If they steal my tractor, this tractor costs, we'll say, $20,000. Well, they're going to sell that thing for $2,500. But if they steal this cow, you can take it to any stockyard in the United States and get 100% of what it's valued. because you got buyers right there. And all you got to do is give a name and an address, and you can stay right there and pick up your check. You don't have to worry about it. You can give me any name.
Allen called the authorities once he realized some of his cattle were gone.
But the Oklahoma Bureau of Agriculture came. They came in a hurry. I called in one day, and the next day they were here.
But it was too late. His cattle already auctioned off and heading for someone's dinner plate.
The cows didn't walk out, and they can't fly. Somebody took them.
Now, back in the days of the Wild West, cattle thieves sometimes paid for their crimes with a rope around the neck. While today's punishment is somewhat less severe, those who hunt down cattle thieves are just as serious. Keith Smith gives us a closer look inside the Oklahoma Department of Agriculture's Investigative Services Division.
This is Captain Jerry Flowers, Department of Agriculture. The Investigative Services Unit of the Department of Agriculture, we're charged by statute with investigating all agriculture-related crimes. I got your message on the machine here, and I was calling you back in regards to some animals being shot.
The calf's leg was shot off.
Penny Hutchison found it hard to believe.
And we thought, well, maybe it was just some hunters or somebody out, you know, just a random accident.
It's Special Agent Jerry Flowers' job to find out what happened.
I have the state divided up with agents responsible for certain geographical areas. As you can quickly do a little division and figure out those 10 agents are each trying to cover about 7 counties, 7 to 8 counties apiece. So they have a lot of area to cover.
It breaks down to driving around 3,000 miles a month on a trail to track down thugs that tend to thrive during a recession.
The worse the economy gets, they try to make ends meet, especially those that, you know, maybe kill cattle out here and they butcher the cattle on the spot and take the meat home to feed their family. I mean, we've seen that happen.
Paul, just when he got in the pen area to bid on, Bill got him for the kids.
When they get a case, they'll go out and they'll talk to the victims of that crime, and then we'll start trying to accumulate as much information as possible.
Pierre, he's our black bull that's right there. He likes the comb, he likes the brushing, he likes the water.
Penny tells Flowers point blank that someone's shooting her family's cattle.
Then it was about 2 weeks later, we had another cow that was shot, and we knew that everybody was okay the day before because we had been over there feeding and everybody was fine. 3 cattle over a period of about 2 months had come up mysteriously shot. Yeah, a lot of times we get our calls where, like on cattle theft or livestock theft, and the cattle may have been stolen, you know, anywhere from 2 to 6 weeks, or even 2, 3, 4 and 5 months. You know, we just don't know. Keep track of your animals. Know how many animals you've got. We typically get a case, I'd say probably our average or typical case is sometime in the last couple of months we've lost these cattle. She just tamed up from hanging with this one. This one right here is Nyla.
Penny keeps a close count because it's more than a pursuit, it's a passion.
A lot of times these cows are more than just, you know, there for the purpose of making a living. People get attached to their animals.
These are my babies. I mean, to my father-in-law, that's his business, but to me, they're my babies.
That's why for Penny, this is personal.
It was horrifying, but when the third one was shot, it was like it was like a desperate feeling. You know, these are my girls, these are my babies. Somebody's shooting them and didn't know what to do. Somebody's doing something. You've got somebody mad at you, or somebody just being mean, or somebody shooting the cattle and don't know they're shooting them. We weren't able to sleep. We were nervous. We were worried.
On the case for just a few hours, Flowers gets a break.
I figured I was at the right spot because there's .22 caliber shell casings laying all over the yard and bullet holes in the fence.
A man that had no business having a gun had set up a makeshift shooting range where it should never have been.
This guy, I could tell he'd been in penitentiary because of his tattoos, and sure enough he had been. On this particular deal there, going around the back of the house, this guy had a shooting range. And the way he was shooting his gun, the trajectory of those bullets were going through a fence across the road and going in right into the Hutchinson's pasture.
Agent Flowers makes an arrest.
I was really absolutely and completely amazed that within just a few hours he'd figured it out.
Well, that's routine for what we do. You know, investigators go out and we determine if there's, if a violation is occurring in our presence, such as that was there. Of course, we're obligated by statute. We arrest them.
Good old-fashioned police work branded into agents trying to get the job done.
We're going to work really hard on solving that crime and protecting the farmers and ranchers out there.
We can at least rest now knowing that somebody's not going to be over there shooting our cattle. It's a big relief. It's a big relief.
Mine's like that every day. Appreciate it.
And our job is to recover their cattle and put you in the penitentiary, and that's exactly what we intend to do.
You're watching Oklahoma Horizon, featuring some of the good things that are happening in the great state of Oklahoma. Still to come on today's show, we meet a farmer with a leafy passion. But first, protecting a growing industry.
Well, a recent study says deer farming could be the fastest growing industry in rural America. And such growth has increased the need to keep track of all these animals. Here to explain why is our Courtney Dehoff.
Rob, since 2006, the number of deer farms in Oklahoma has nearly doubled, due in great part to the growth of hunting ranches in this part of the country. With the increase in commercial deer herds comes the increased need to know where they are and where they've been.
Charles Bunch is taking inventory of a growing industry, commercial deer breeding. Bunch, the owner of Heavenly Whitetails near Spiro, Oklahoma, says business is booming.
As far as the deer industry, there are a lot of different ways to make money. Myself, I'm selling strictly to breeders. I will eventually will be selling to some hunting ranches. Ultimately, the goal is to own a hunting ranch along with a breeding facility.
3 years ago, there were only 96 deer farms in Oklahoma. Today, there are 195. With the increase in numbers comes the increased need to track them.
I am participating voluntarily in a RFID program. It's a small yellow tag that goes in the deer's ear. It is great for a herd inventory. We can do it electronically, never have to touch them. Yeah, you can either run them through a chute or, as we've done here today, we've set them up around our feeders.
RFID, radio frequency identification tags, are becoming a must-have for commercial whitetail breeders to keep accurate inventory. Dr. Mike Pruitt with the Oklahoma Department of Agriculture says tags can also be a critical element in monitoring disease.
We have 81 herds like Charlie's that are participating in our chronic wasting disease program. It involves finding out where the animals came from, their sales, where they're going, monitoring the animal's progress at mitigating disease, and if they do happen to lose an animal, test every one lost to make sure we don't have CWD in our herds. And if our deer herds weren't being monitored and the producers weren't participating in a program like this, this disease could become endemic not only in our farm survey program, but it could range outside of that and get into our free-range animals. This is very important that if we're going to allow import of white-tailed deer into our breeding program, that those breeders participate in a monitoring program.
Breeders in the monitoring program are required to submit a verified inventory of every animal once a year and provide 2 official forms of ID, which isn't always easy.
As you've noticed, as the deer are moving back and forth, Charlie's deer are very tame, but there are herds that are a little flightier, and in an effort to get those inventories, we have to see them. We have to get close enough to observe the animals, and in doing so, we spook the animals. It's easy to get them stirred up, and they might accidentally damage themselves. To try to mitigate that risk, we've come up with using an electronic ID system.
Reader panels, wands, and even Bluetooth allows breeders to read tags at a distance and avoid injury to animals that may be gentle in nature, but are far from domestic.
The deer market has had its ups and downs in the last couple of years. Breeder does that sold for over $8,000 are now about $3,500.
So then what's the future for the industry?
Rob, breeders are constantly coming up with better and better genetics. In fact, a breeder buck with a large antler span can sell from $30,000 to $40,000.
Well, certainly a lot of money. Thank you, Courtney. Well, from food scares to the threat of animal disease outbreaks, many believe a national animal ID system will be the key to early detection and prevention. But in the cattle and pork industry, the implementation of such a program has been a hard sell across parts of farm country, which is why U.S. Secretary of Agriculture Tom Vilsack is taking time to meet with both producers and consumers to gauge the viability of such a comprehensive program. Here's our Russ Joel.
U.S. Secretary of Agriculture Tom Vilsack is a busy man, so when he set aside time to address concerns about a national animal ID system, livestock producers took notice.
A lot of the concerns stem from a credibility issue that USDA has in some parts of the country. And so that suggests to me that we continue to have work to do to connect the USDA mission to the people that we're trying to serve.
A national ID system would enable producers and health officials to respond quickly to animal disease events in the U.S.
So the question is, how do we create a structure or system, or how do we improve the current system to the point where we maximize our opportunity to prevent that kind of incident?
While producers appreciated the Secretary's time, they remain cautious about a national ID system.
Can't think of the last time that a Secretary of Agriculture spent 2.5 hours with groups really seeking what their opinion was.
And hopefully we're going to get to a point that we have something that's producers can participate in with confidence. Hopefully it doesn't have to be mandatory.
Well, I think that a lot of people see the benefit of an animal identification system, but I think overcoming the cost issue and the confidentiality issue are huge hurdles.
Vilsack said his meeting with producer groups would be the first of many.
Horizon is now portable. Just subscribe to our weekly podcast. Visit iTunes.com, where you can download our show for your listening or viewing convenience.
Well, as any parent will probably tell you, one of the most difficult tasks they face is getting their kids to eat their veggies. And no vegetable is loathed more often by American youth than spinach. But one eastern Oklahoma farmer is hoping to change all that with a fresh new look at this green leafy crop. Dustin Milkey shows us how.
This inconspicuous-looking vegetable basking in the eastern Oklahoma sun is actually feared by children across our nation. But spinach isn't quite the villain of the vegetable world that you may think it is, according to farmer David Sheffield.
I'd say a large percentage of the population does not know what fresh spinach tastes like. Fresh spinach is very palatable, sweet, and it's got a great taste to it. That's one good thing about cutting spinach. You can eat it as you cut it.
And on the day we visited his farm, Sheffield was harvesting the last of the 32 acres of spinach he raised this year in a field just a few miles away from Fort Gibson.
We have been cutting spinach. We set the cutter to the Canning Company specs. This morning, for example, we was cutting freezer quality spinach, and we had to raise the cutter up some. As we cut the spinach with the cutter, it goes into the carts, and then the carts bring it and dump it to the semi-trailers for transport to the plants.
But there's more work to this than the 4 tractors you see out in the field.
We call them stompers, and we make them wash their feet before they get up there. They rearrange the load in order to get more product on the trucks. They kind of fill the voids and gently pack it down.
Sheffield contracts his entire crop with a canning company. Once the truck leaves the field, the spinach is on its way to being processed into what may be a more recognizable form. Matt Crabtree is a crop inspector for Allens Incorporated, who will process Sheffield's crop.
Once it's packaged and leaves the plant, it goes immediately to the warehouse and is distributed by our trucks and by outside trucks and goes directly to the food service industry and as well as grocery stores and restaurants.
Back on the farm, Sheffield says growing spinach is far from a sure thing.
As a grower, it's not for the faint of heart. You know, it's a risky crop. It's a crop that you don't always hit a home run on. A rule of thumb that I have that on spinach, 1 year out of 4, you'll probably have a failure.
But when the growing conditions cooperate, the spinach you see in these fields may end up as a frozen product in your neighborhood.
This product will eventually end up on the grocery store shelves in your hometown. Well, this will be in the frozen package section, and it'll be frozen spinach, and it'll have that fresh taste to it, whereas the canned spinach tastes like canned spinach. It's real good in calcium, vitamin C, full of antioxidants, and I think that America would be healthier if they ate 3 or 4 servings of that a day.
You can get additional information about the stories you see on Horizon, along with video clips of segments from previous shows, by going to our website at okhorizon.com.
Well, there's no doubt Oklahoma traces its roots back to the days of the Wild West. Roots that include tales of adventurous men, brave pioneers, and more than a few infamous criminals. Clay Kimbrough takes us to a canyon hideout on the Cimarron River with a striking beauty that hides a notorious past.
From its scenic views overlooking the Cimarron River to its past as an outlaw hideout, the history of Horse Thief Canyon offers visitors more than just a weekend getaway. And it's that history that Ben Holder shares with his visitors as he shows them around the canyon.
The H-Bar-H Ranch, which is located right across the river, was the first cow camp, and of course their foreman was Bill Doolin. And Bill Doolin came out of Arkansas as a 15-year-old boy, and he didn't know anything about cowboying, really. He knew how to use an axe. And with that axe, he set himself up for a job because he began to build their corral system for their cattle.
So Doolin was set with the cowboys and led a fairly innocent life until an incident with Kansas lawmen a few years later.
He had gotten up into Kansas and got on the wrong side of the law at a big picnic. It wasn't any really big deal, but he got into a confrontation with a couple of deputy marshals up there, and it was over a beer party or something like that. And one of those marshals, I think, got his leg broken, and the way these guys were, the cowboys that Bill Doolin was running with and working with, they didn't go in and try and get this thing set up right. They just left. So he was already begun to be, on the owl hoot trail is what they'd call it. But he remembered the canyon from his days working for the H-Bar-H Ranch.
On the run from the law, Doolin needed a place he could rely on for shelter and fresh water for his horses.
Again, their horses were the most important tool that they had. It was their lifeline out of here, and away from the law enforcement.
Offering the outlaw shelter Horse Thief Canyon's terrain helped them keep an eye on anyone who might be looking for them.
Bluff we're sitting on, you can see for 15 miles down the river, and that's where the most of the law enforcement came out of that Guthrie area. So this bluff was used as a lookout for the outlaws.
For the next decade, Doolin and his wild bunch called Horse Thief Canyon home, robbing trains and earning the respect of local townspeople. But not the law. A shootout in Ingalls left 3 marshals dead and Doolin a wanted man. And while Horse Thief Canyon proved to be a safe haven for Doolin and his gang, it was on a trip home to see his family when marshals ambushed him, leaving Bill Doolin dead and Horse Thief Canyon a legacy.
Next time on Oklahoma Horizon, healthcare in Oklahoma and the changes heading our way.
The uninsured do impact what you're paying. They do impact what you're paying in premiums. They do impact what you're paying every time you go to the hospital.
The Affordable Care Act on Oklahoma Show for the Heartland, Oklahoma Horizon. Well, when most of us go to the grocery store to stock up for the week, we rarely give a thought as to how the food got there and especially the measures in place to make sure that food is safe. And just like when we go through security at the airport or do business at our banks, the most effective security measures are often those that just go unnoticed. An entire arsenal of people work behind the scenes daily to ensure the food we eat is not only good for our bodies, but good for the industry that's responsible for a large part of Oklahoma's economy. I'm Rob McClendon. Thanks for watching. See you soon.
Horizon is made possible by the Oklahoma Department of Career and Technology Education and the Oklahoma Department of Agriculture, Food, and Forestry, helping good people grow good things. Copies of today's show are available on our website, okhorizon.com. Thank you for watching Oklahoma Horizon.